Welcome to Bananabox 2014 for Mac. This video is going to show you one of the most exciting new features, UserTracks. In this video, we'll show you how to make your own UserTracks on a Mac. But first, I'll just explain a little bit about Bananabox and explain just what UserTracks are. Bananabox is an auto accompaniment program that lets you create backing tracks for any song in any style, just by typing in the chords, picking from over 1,000 possible styles, setting the tempo, and pressing play. And that's exactly what I've done with this song. I just typed in these chords, picked this style, set the tempo, and pressed play. All of these instruments you're hearing were then created based on my chords. These ones are RealTracks, which means that they're real instruments played by real musicians and can play over any chord progressions you enter into Bananabox. Now, new with Bananabox 2014, we've added UserTracks. These are like RealTracks, but you, the user, can create your own. You simply record your own instrument, and Bananabox can then use that over any chord progression in Bananabox, just like the RealTracks. And with this ukulele track, that's exactly what I've done. I created this ukulele user track myself in under 10 minutes. There are many great ways that you can benefit from UserTracks creation like this. You can use your own UserTracks as songwriting tools, playing your own grooves, but being instantly able to change the chord progressions, keys, tempos, etc. as you're writing. You can share or trade them with other Bananabox users using the pgmusic.com forum. Or you can sell UserTracks as a third-party product that can be used by customers in Bananabox for Mac or Windows, or RealBand for Windows. So now I'm going to go back in time a bit and show you how I originally made this ukulele user track from scratch. So I'd like to record a simple pop ukulele user track. I'm going to open the 1-minute pop UserTracks template song. You can download this from our website, but it's also included with Bananabox in the RealTracks UserTracks subfolders in your main Bananabox install folder. This is a 32-bar song playing some basic pop changes in C for 8 bars, then E, then G, and then A. It's just over 1 minute long, though it'll of course be shorter if you make the song faster and longer if you make the song slower. You can pick any Bananabox style for this to play along to, and you can set the tempo anywhere you like. But I'll stick to this pop quintet at 120 beats per minute. I'll play a little bit of it. So all you have to do is record yourself playing along with this progression on your instrument in whatever digital audio workstation or DAW you like. So I'm going to easily get these backing tracks we're hearing now into GarageBand so I can record there. But you can do it in any other DAW like Pro Tools or Reaper or Logic, anything you like. The drop station is a tool that makes bringing audio files from Bananabox to other DAWs very easy. So I'm going to use that right now. The DAW plugin button is now right beside the drop station. So I'm going to first go into the options for DAW plugin settings. For the master track, you have the choice of having it create separate tracks for all the different instruments, which I'll do. There are lots of other settings here that let you customize exactly what happens when you drag tracks into the drop station. You can drag individual tracks, but I'll drag master to get them all. It turns orange to indicate that it's now making the tracks. And now it's green, which means they're ready. I'll then actually go into DAW plugin mode. And you can see that I have GarageBand open already underneath with a blank session with an empty audio track ready to go. I drag from the drop station into GarageBand, and you see I now have separate tracks. I can play a bit to see what they sound like. Before I record, I can mix it here so that I get it sounding exactly the way I want it. And now I can just record my ukulele on the empty track. Incidentally, there's a PDF of the chart in that same templates folder, so you can print that out before you record. I'll use headphones so I can hear all of the other instruments, but only my ukulele will be recorded into the mic. And I'll listen to a little bit of that back. So with this track soloed, I need to save this file. It can be any of these file types: compressed AAC, which are M4A files, MP3, or uncompressed AIF. It can also be WAV if you want. I need to save it to my band-in-a-box folder in RealTracks, UserTracks, and then I need to make a folder which will be the title of my user track. And I'll use the band-in-a-box RealTracks naming convention, which is the instrument name first, ukulele, the type, which is rhythm, as opposed to background or soloist styles, then a brief description, pop, syncopated, Tobin, which is my name, then the groove, EV for even, it would be SW for swing, and the tempo the style was recorded at, 120. And then in that folder, I'll save it as Ukulele Song 1. Now back in Band-in-a-Box, I have to save this template file to the same location. And it has to have the same name as the M4A file I made, Ukulele Song 1. Now our user track is complete. I can now use it over a completely different chord progression, and it doesn't even have to be with the same RealTracks that I recorded it to. I'll enter a fairly simple pop progression in C, F, D minor, G. I'll use a shortcut K4 to copy those 4 bars. A minor, G, F, D minor, G, C, and I'll use the same shortcut K16 to copy the last 16 bars. And it doesn't have to be in the key of C, you can enter any key, and I'll change the key from C to E flat. I'll add my user track now. I'll click on UserTracks, and now we see, because Band-in-a-Box recognizes a new folder in the UserTracks folder that contains at least one example of a Band-in-a-Box song with an audio file, both that have the same name, it now shows this ukulele style as an option here. So I'll select it. I'll press Generate. And we now have my ukulele playing along with this completely new progression in a completely new key. You may be wondering how it's playing chords like E flat, since I didn't actually record any instances of E flat. Band-in-a-Box has sophisticated features for automatically transposing audio, so it easily finds a close match and transposes on the fly. So I did record instances of E chords, so it can easily transpose a portion where I played E down a semitone to E flat. And of course we're not limited to the tempo it was recorded at either. We can slow it down, or speed it up. Ukulele is fairly high in this mix here on purpose since we're demonstrating the ukulele user track, but of course with the new mixer it's easy to blend in nicely with the other instruments. And now these are the same RealTracks that I actually recorded my style to, but as I mentioned before, I don't have to use the same style I recorded to. It is a good idea, of course, to pick a style that has the same groove and feel though. So I'll use the filter in the style picker to only show me pop rock, even eighths, 4/4 styles that work well at 120 beats per minute. And the list here is now filtered to only show styles that match all of these criteria. There's now a very easy way to sample styles before picking them. All you have to do is double click on them to hear a pre-made sample so you'll know exactly what your song will sound like. So for example, here's classic rock and roll. Here's electric clav with funky band. Here's pop American guitar. '60s soul with horn section. With MIDI styles, there are actually two options, one with MIDI drums and one with a substituted real drum style. So for example, here's a classic rock MIDI style. And here it is with real drums replacing the MIDI drums. And here's a pop piano style. This is a cool one, so I'll use this. Now my user track is still loaded, so all I have to do is press play. Pre-made demo we listened to in the style picker had a pretty cool progression, so maybe I'll try that and see how the ukulele sounds over that. The style button has lots of cool options, and one of those is load song demo for this style. And before it plays, I'll add my ukulele user track to it. And here it is playing this completely new progression. Notice that this progression has slash chords, and we didn't actually record any slash chords. With UserTracks, if Band in a Box encounters a chord type that wasn't actually recorded, it finds the best possible alternative, so it will always play something. In this case, for C over D, it plays C, and for G over D, it plays G, which is exactly what a musician playing this would do. If you entered a D13 chord in Band in a Box, it would find the best alternative available, which is a D7. If you entered a B flat major 7, the best alternative would be B flat major. Now, this is the most basic UserTracks template you can record, but you can make them as complex as you want. All you have to do is record more files just like the one you did here, which incidentally is why I called this Ukulele Song 1. You can add as many files like this as you want, and Band in a Box will use whatever files are present in that folder. So you could record a whole bunch of additional files and include slash chords, more complex chords like C7 flat 9. You could make up your own chord progressions, or you could use one of our own advanced templates that provide you with all the additional Band in a Box songs you'd need. One final thing with the actual files in the UserTracks folder. Now we only put two files there, the audio file and the Band in a Box file. But if we look there now, we'll see there are some additional files. Band in a Box creates these files the first time you use any user track. The BT1, BT2, and WAV files should be left there, but you don't need to worry about them at all. They're written once, and from then on they just make the UserTracks generate a little more quickly. Also, with the WAV file present here, that means that you can share this user track with Windows users and it will work for them as well. If you did remove these files for any reason, it's not a big deal. Band-in-a-Box would just rewrite them the next time. Options.txt can be edited by you. It just contains some information about the user tracks, such as tempo for the style, whether it's a waltz, what equivalent MIDI patch should be used, and whether it's even or swing. Most of this information is taken from the Band-in-a-Box file itself, so you likely don't even need to worry about this file at all. But you can change this, if you like, simply by editing the file. An interesting thing about the tempo is that if you're using multiple files for a single user track, the files can actually be different tempos and it will still work. But in general, it would be best to record all files for any particular user track at the same tempo for consistency. Memo.txt has the memo for this style. So for example, if I change this and type in simple strumming pop ukulele with slight syncopation and save it, then when I go back into Band-in-a-Box, we can see that the memo is now present in the UserTracks picker. We hope you have fun with this great new UserTracks feature, and we hope you enjoy Band-in-a-Box 2014 for Mac. Have fun!